Good Monday evening, folks. Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandages here with you. It is August 5th, 2024. We've got a tropical update for you, particularly talking about Tropical Storm Debby. That's impacting a large portion of the southeastern United States this evening. Now, Debby made landfall this morning, just a dozen or so miles away from where Idalia made landfall, the Big Bend of Florida. It was a Category 1 hurricane this morning. Winds topped out around 80 miles per hour. Now it's over land, away from its fuel source. It has weakened down to a minimal grade tropical storm, but still bringing big impacts. Its forward speed has also slowed, which is going to be very problematic in the coming days, in for a prolific flooding event. It's already underway in the southeast, and it will build along the east coast of the United States. Here's an 18-hour loop of Tropical Storm Debby, down to 45-mile-per-hour winds as of the 8 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center. You can see there is a ton of tropical moisture with this, and it is now raining itself out. Take particular note of its forward speed. Northeast at only 6 miles per hour. You can outrun this storm, and models are indicating that this slows down and maybe even stalls out in this general area, meaning days upon days of very heavy downpours that will lead to widespread historic flooding, particularly in South Carolina and the Charleston area. I'll show you the projected rainfall totals there in just a second. But it's trying to build off to the north. Notice that cloud deck, sharp cutoff here with high pressure to the north and eventually a front well to the north too. The two will interact and actually help to stretch out the impacts along the southeast up in the mid-Atlantic as we go through the middle to end of the upcoming work week. Look at that rain just funneling in to South and North Carolina. Here's the official forecast cone as of 5 o'clock this evening from the National Hurricane Center. I want you to pay particular attention to its jog to the east in the next 24 hours. By the middle of the week, it's back over open water, back over the warm waters off of the southeast coast, back over the Gulf Stream waters off the southeast coast. Hurricane Center says, we're at 40 miles per hour wind, so barely a tropical storm tomorrow, still over land. That's impressive in and of itself, but it begins to re-strengthen with winds increasing again to 60 miles per hour. Now, overall, this system's legacy will not be the wind. It will be the rain going forward with its slow forward speed. We're looking at a 5-day cone here that doesn't move very far as we get into the upcoming weekend. It's still over the Delmarva at that point is a tropical depression, still with winds of 35 miles per hour. That forecast cone of uncertainty growing rather large the farther out we go. And this time around, there is plenty of uncertainty in that forecast. Here's the spaghetti plots. Each line is a different computer model. And you can see there is a lot of uncertainty here, inconsistencies. Now, general consensus off to the north and east eventually, but the forward speed of a lot of these models shows it kind of looping around, going offshore, building back west, inland, retrograding, and then building off to the northeast. So there's a lot to still kind of go through here on these models. They're trying to get a hold on this. So why is the forward speed expected to slow down, maybe even stall out? Well, the upper level winds that have been steering the storm are diminishing, slowing down. So there's not much to really force this system to lift away. What will eventually pull it to the north is the interaction with a front coming in from the northwest. That will be a while. It won't be until the middle to end of the week that it finally begins to push it off to the north. Until then, it'll likely sit and spin here with very weak steering. So that means that flooding potential is very high. Out of a 4-tiered scale, 4 being the greatest threat for flash flooding and flooding, 1 being the least, we're looking at the purple shading here through most of the South Carolina coastline. High threat, level 4 for flash flooding tomorrow. And then notice as we go up through the middle of the week, that threat stretches all up and down the eastern seaboard, still centralized in the southern, southeastern coast of North Carolina and the northeast coast and east coast of South Carolina. How much rain could we expect here? This is a 5-day projected rainfall total. And we could be looking at as much as 2 feet of rain in the Charleston, South Carolina area. Most of South Carolina is seeing at least 7 to 10 inches, probably more than that. And then stretching into Virginia, North Carolina, 4 to 6, 2 to 4 inches. A lot of this is over areas that are very saturated from several weeks of downpours ongoing. This is just going to add to that. So historic flooding likely underway in those areas and will continue for several more days. Elsewhere in the tropical Atlantic, we've got one other wave now that has entered the Caribbean. It's got low chances of developing now, but as it pushes into the western Caribbean, it may be one to watch. And particularly if it makes it into the southern Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Campeche, 30% chance of development over the next 7 days. Next name on the list would be Ernesto. So we'll see what plays out there. That's the latest on today's update on Debby. We'll continue to watch it. It will be a prolific rainmaker, as you saw, with those historic rainfall totals likely. If you have any questions, you can find me on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Till then, we'll see you again tomorrow.